If you're a small channel or if you're a small independent artist, regardless, you're gonna have to put the work in. You need to have a plan in place. You need to know what your budget is, and you definitely need to execute. YouTube, what's up? It's LA Mars, independent artist. I'm just here to share YouTube tips and music tips to help all my small YouTube channels grow and be successful. Number one, the video topic, let's get into it. Being a YouTuber is just like being an independent music artist. The reason being is because both require you to move like a business. Now, if you don't have the finances, then you're gonna have to do it all yourself. If you do have the finances, then you can outsource it. For example, if you're a YouTuber, you gotta film, you gotta edit, you gotta be able to create the thumbnail, you gotta learn how to use SEO. Now, if you're an independent artist, you gotta have equipment as well. So you gotta have the equipment to record, you gotta learn how to engineer, you gotta learn how to upload your music to these streaming sites, you gotta learn how to market your music. There's differences between the two, but they're much similar than people think. You're gonna have to pay for the engineer to record you. If you need your music mixed, that's another fee. And then if you want your music mastered, that's another fee. Then if you want to shoot a music video, that's another fee. In both fields, to be successful, you have to move like a business. If you're doing it for the passion and the love, that's cool. But at the end of the day, if you're being a YouTuber, you want to be successful. You want to get subscribers. You want to get views on your video. I'm sure a lot of people like to film themselves and record and talk in front of the camera, but the whole goal is to grow. Just like being an artist, if you're recording music, you want people to actually hear your music. They both have so many similarities that people don't even really realize. If you're just starting on YouTube or if you're just starting as a music artist, you gotta have a strategy. You need to know what your budget is. What can you afford? What kind of camera can you afford? Can you afford an iPhone or can you afford a Sony ZV-1? What kind of ring light can you afford? Because you gotta have lighting. You gotta have good audio. So as far as an artist, do you have an Apple laptop? Are you gonna use Pro Tools? Are you gonna use FL Studio? Are you gonna use Logic Pro? Now you gotta get a mic. So are you gonna get a TLM 103 or are you gonna get a Shure mic? You can use it as a podcast mic and you can use it as a recording mic for your vocals. So you gotta have a budget. If you do have a budget, then you can outsource it both ways. You could use applications like Fiverr or Upwork to find people to actually create and run your channel. Being a music artist, you need to find a good producer or find a website to find good beats. These are a lot of things that are required for being an artist and being a YouTuber. Your budget is pretty much going to determine what type of equipment you could purchase, whether you're a YouTuber or you're a music artist. If you really take the craft serious, then you want to invest in equipment. To be a good YouTuber, you don't have to have a $10,000 YouTube setup. It does require you to have a good camera, good audio, and good lighting. As far as being a music artist, you got to have a good mic, good interface, good production, and you want to have a good mix as well. Nowadays, some people might get away with putting out YouTube videos without editing, and then there's some artists that might be able to get away with putting out music without a good mix. The majority of the people out there, you're gonna have to put that work in. You're gonna either have to have a good budget or you're gonna have to be able to do everything yourself. And that's cool because nowadays there's so much information on the net that you should be able to be a jack of all trades. Honestly, with this YouTube thing, I learned everything myself. I literally binge watched thousands of videos on YouTube about lighting and about the camera setup and everything I needed to know to make my channel successful. As far as music, I've been recording music for years. If you're a small channel or if you're a small independent artist, regardless, you're gonna have to put the work in. You need to have a plan in place. You need to know what your budget is, and you definitely need to execute, and you gotta have some talent. You really need to figure out what your unfair advantage is, meaning what can you do better than most people? That's pretty much gonna separate you from others, but you have to use that with consistency. So when you take your unfair advantage and consistency and you put them together, you should be able to grow. And that's what I'm trying to do. I just wanna share this content to inspire anybody that's having doubts and anybody that needs a little motivation to stay focused, get started. The time is now. It's already March. Let's put this work in. We already 3 months in. A lot of small YouTubers and independent artists are creating less and consuming more. You wanna be able to switch that around and create more and consume less. And the reason why I say this is because the average person has a 9 to 5. Online, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, yo, I have a 9 to 5, I don't have time to create. But if you commute to work, you have time. When you commute to work, you could be coming up with a plan. I'm gonna hit them with this content this week, or I'm gonna write a song about this. You gotta be creative. So if you have time to actually consume content from other people, then you have time to invest in yourself and start creating content. The fact that you have time to listen to other artists' music means you have time to create your own music. How bad do you want it? With that being said, you gotta treat it like a business, regardless if you're a YouTuber or you're an independent artist. If you're a YouTuber, you definitely trying to get monetized. Why do you think so many people want to get monetized? They want to get monetized so they can start making money off their channel. Why do you think so many artists want to get streams or album sales? Because they want to make money off their music. If you're not treating your YouTube channel or your music like a business, you really losing for real. It's 2024. You got to get with the program. You got to be able to adapt. You have to be a business. You have to treat your YouTube like a business, and you have to treat your music like a business, because they both require having a team to help you execute to be able to make money. People can pretty much get over the bad video quality, but people not tolerating bad audio. When it comes to music, people gonna think you an amateur if your song is not mixed correctly. And I'm not saying you have to get a crazy engineer or pay thousands of dollars to get a good mix. You can get a good mix for $100, $200, $250, or you can learn how to mix yourself. You got the option. If you're really short on cash, you're gonna have to learn how to do these things, which is really no excuse because you got the internet. We got YouTube. We on YouTube. You watching me now. If you want to get your song mixed and you ain't got the budget, you're gonna have to figure out how to do that. If you want to get your video quality A1 on your YouTube channel, but you ain't got the budget, you're gonna have to figure out how to do that. If you don't take anything else from this video, just realize that you're gonna have to be a jack of all trades, especially if you're starting out with no budget. You're gonna have to create and put out content consistently. On YouTube, it's so many creators. The only way that you can really separate yourself is to put out a lot of content. Just like music, over 100,000 songs are uploaded on Spotify daily. So the only way that you're gonna separate yourself from other artists is if you put out a lot of music. You just gotta put the work in, and you have to figure out what's the best strategy and plan for you to succeed and be successful. But they're both gonna require a lot of hard work and action. You can't just talk about it, you're gonna have to be about it. Remember, dreams don't have deadlines, and if you don't take anything else from this video, remember, we have to create more and consume less. So I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. So if you need advice as far as what equipment you need for a home studio, check this video out here in the middle of the screen. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, show love to your boys, LA Mars. Let's get it.